And then also that comes about mental health, which is it's really scary out there with what's going on in society, but hello, everybody. Welcome again. This is Alita Hernandez, Rebooted Mindset, a Spanglish entertainment production. Changing up stuff. You'll see some new things for the new year. Can you believe this year is almost going? I don't know. I don't know where it went. I want it back. I need the year back. I need to start over. But we can do that every day, don't we? That's what we call a rebooted mindset. So every day we have an ability to change our lives and learn something new. And today, this message today for mothers and daughters, I think is incredible. I have a mother-daughter team, Lindsay and Leslie, coming on the show to talk about their new book, and it's a mother-daughter relationship makeover. Okay, I know a couple of people out there that have some issues going on with their mother, and I think we all, as a daughter, we all need this. Okay, we're going to learn a lot of things, what our past does, things that we pre-learned that makes us who we are, right? So we always have to, there's always a way to relearn, like I say, reboot, right? Reboot your brain, restart your brain, and think a different way to change it, to make your life better. So that's what we try to do here. And so I'm going to bring in this mother and daughter duo here. I would call them the mother-daughter super women or whatever. Because, us women, we do a lot. We do a lot more than you guys even know. But let's welcome them in with a round of applause because they deserve it. Hello, ladies, beautiful ladies. How are you today?
So good. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, this is awesome. I saw the book and I was like, oh, what's that? Mother-daughter? Let's see what's going on here. And you came up with this book. So I guess tell me a little bit about yourself and what challenged you or made you create this book.
Absolutely. So I'm going to jump in. I'm Lindsay. I'm the daughter. My mom, Leslie, and a lot of stuff came through that made us want to write the book, but it really stemmed from our own dysfunctional relationship, which really started young, and we come out of kind of a dysfunctional family model. And that's why we really want people to think about their families and the generations behind them and how they've been influenced. But we really got into kind of a habit of fighting in the high school years. And we have a long story, a lot happened. But as we both reconciled, I found recovery for myself. I did have some addiction problems when I was younger. And as we both found recovery, healing, we started Reach Out Recovery, our recovery company. As the years passed, we really realized there was a hunger for this information, that we're having a little bit of an epidemic of family alienation, and that mothers and daughters really wanted to not feel alone with this issue. And they really wanted some information about what happened, why these fights happen, these separations happen, how to fix them. So we really found a niche for ourselves by sharing our experience, but also we're writers, we're researchers, we're coaches. So talk about rebooted mindset. It was really important for us to share with others and share with other mothers and daughters. It doesn't have to be this way. Here are some ways to get out of it before it gets this bad. And really just provide tools for people to feel differently about what's happened.
I just want to jump in and add the fact that Lindsay and I were estranged for 4 years. So Lindsay went off to California and abandoned the work that we were doing together because although we were relationship experts, we could not manage our own relationship. So I think what's really, really important is that we had no contact for 4 years. And then slowly after 4 years, we got back together again. And as we reconciled and we began to write about reconciliation, we realized, and so many people wrote to us about no contact. It's everywhere in the news right now that we know that people desperately need some help with their mother-daughter and other family relationship conflicts.
Yeah, it's so important. And I know, I feel like I'm you or me or whatever, it's that kind of thing, because I can relate to just already a couple of things you said, and being the only daughter. And so, yeah, it's hard. Women relationships are difficult, I think in general. And I don't know if that's a good question. I was just thinking, do you think that women who have difficulty having relationship with other women stems from the relationship they have with their mother?
Absolutely.
Yes.
No question.
But here's what I think. I think, we talk a lot in our first book about secrets and lies. And I think one of the things that is the problem between mothers and daughters is that mothers don't really share a lot of really important information about their own lives and their own history to their daughters. So their daughters are kind of moving forward into maybe unsafe relationships or unsafe situations without having the wisdom that their mother could have, given them by sharing their own experiences.
Yeah. I understand that. I relate to that. I really, really relate to that. I agree with that. And I came up with that question because I had such a difficult time with relationships with women.
Uh-huh.
And I really didn't have, I have like, I had only like maybe a few girlfriends, like I couldn't keep that relationship. And until now, so I've been rebooted myself, and I've been researching and changing my life for the last 9 years, that I've learned now, wow, I have a whole bunch of girlfriends now. I love it. It's great.
So I have to tell you, when I did so in our 4-year separation, I did serious therapy, recovery, all kinds of stuff. And when I healed my relationship kind of with myself and with my mom, my relationships with women improved exponentially. I mean, I now have a gaggle of girlfriends I talk to every day. But I think it's really true. I think when you grow up kind of in a toxic situation with women, you can be incredibly sensitive to, is she shaming me? Is she, so we're out in the world and we're at work or we're meeting other people's partners or whatever it is. And maybe we take comments too personally, maybe, but we're seeing women through that lens of having been hurt by a woman. And are these other women going to be trouble for me? I think that's part of it.
Are mothers controlling? Are they judgmental? Are they always finding fault with you and making you feel like you're not good enough? These are situations where you might find that other women, you might be fearful of other women and feel that they're not really safe.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. And then again, it goes back, you mentioned about generational. So the thing is, as mothers, like I have 2 sons, but I have 2 boys. Yeah. So, but my boys, I'm close with my boys. I talk to them. I've told them my personal journey. I've told them things that they need to know, because that way they can be better men for women, Yes. And they're both very respectful. So I'm very grateful, because they both have one girl, and they're very respectful, and they're doing the right thing. So, but I think I felt it was important to tell them. But when I was going back to generational, like our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, right? What did they go through? What generation they were in? What was important at that time, right? Compared to us now. It makes, again, right? You write about that.
It's so important because, in our family, so we're Jewish. If you've had family that went through the Holocaust, if you have family women that have been through a genocide, poverty, racism, mental illness, addiction, if you have a grandmother or a great grandmother who were in extremely difficult circumstances that absolutely shaped how they were able to parent. One of the things that came out in our research is one of the things that a lot of mothers and daughters are most influenced by: poverty, religion, how strict the household they grew up in was. So all of these things really shape whether your mother, her mother, was safe to be herself, had the ability to parent in a nurturing way or not. Because when there's not enough to eat or you're on the run, you are doing the best that you can. And there's something called generational trauma.
Yeah. I just want to say that we all came from somewhere else.
Right.
We all came to this country from somewhere else. And it kind of depends on when you came. When did you come here? And did you bring your cultural demands with you? Or did you assimilate? And some people assimilate and can assimilate, and some people can't. And I think that the whole question of assimilation is also very traumatic.
Yeah, for women.
It's
can you fit into where we are now?
Yeah.
And so, if you don't mind me jumping off, fitting in was a big thing for both of us. My mom's mom wanted her to fit in. She wanted her to get married. She wanted her to follow social norms. My mom wanted that for me. And I was a drug addict in the 90s. I wasn't putting on little outfits and going to temple. I was going to the club, and couldn't have been more of a disappointment in those years.
Yeah, like I said, I can relate. I was in the 80s. You were in the 90s. I was doing that in the 80s. And I went to California too. I left New York to LA.
Oh, wow. Where are you now?
I'm in Florida.
Oh,
so are we. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in Boca, right? You're in Boca. I just moved from Boca. I used to live in Boca.
We're in Sarasota.
Oh, now you're in Sarasota. I'm in Palm Bay now.
Oh, fantastic.
Where's Palm Bay?
Is Palm Bay's East Coast?
East Coast, Melbourne.
Oh, yeah.
Space Coast, yeah. So, I left the hustle and bustle after being born in New York. I said, I need some space. I got some land up here. I love it.
That's great. We're New Yorkers too.
Yeah, so I grew up in Jackson Heights and in Queens.
Oh, wow.
Back in the 70s, and then to Flushing, and then I moved, and then they came down here. So my mother, my aunt, they moved to Florida, and while I went to LA. You know how it is. When you're in your 20s and you're partying and having a good time, and you're like, I'm going to LA.
Yeah.
So I relate about that distance, keeping that distance, and interesting enough, I don't know. I don't even know how I finally recovered from that. I don't know how to say it. Like, I felt like I was angry at my mother, right?
Of course.
I was angry at her. Like, I don't understand what was going on. Like the dynamic, when she was dating after my parents got divorced. So it was a lot of trauma, the divorce, the move, it was just all these different things. So it piles up on you, and then I had my first relationship was not good. Again, like you said, as parents, as mothers, we have our own trauma from way back, and then we don't know how to communicate to our next generation to let them know, hey, red flag, if that guy is, a certain way, or he's not treating you right, you need to run the other way, not stay with them. Not to become a abusive relationship, that something happens physically to you from this person, we have to stay away from things like that, but we're not taught. We're not taught.
This is why we actually created the workbook to follow the book, because we talk about all of this in the original book. But we actually give you the worksheets, the assessments that let you do this work. Because here's the thing, what you're saying is exactly right. And until you see the patterns, it's very hard to break them. But when you start writing it down and you say, whoa, grandma did this, and then mom did this, and now I'm doing this, then it's very clear, like, oh, we have a problem with controlling men in this family. And we really need to look at that.
Yeah.
And, again, one of the things we want to say is this work, it isn't finished. Like, it's an ongoing thing. And what's fabulous about our relationship now is that we work together on it. So she looks at my relationships, I look at her relationships, and not coming from a place of judgment or shame. But hey, I see some things here that are familiar. Are you able to be yourself with this person? And those are the kind of questions that transform when you do this work. It's not, you're doing this again and he's awful and blah, blah, blah. But it's, wow, I'm seeing some things that make me wonder if perhaps we want to do a little assessment work around that, and just coming at it from a place of love.
I don't know about us Latinos. I don't know how that's going to flow, but I don't see anybody saying, honey, because we're loud. So, we have different generations. So my family's from Puerto Rico. So my parents came over when they were very little through Ellis Island in New York back in the 20s and the 30s. And so it's just interesting because we might be different country, but we're the same. You know what I mean? We have the same, that cultural that you had to come simulate. And I went through it myself too, going through when you're a child and you look different. And people are like, what are you? What do you mean, what am I? I'm a girl. I'm a little girl. Right. What are you talking about? I'm like 5
What
years
are you?
old.
Yeah, what are you?
Yeah, they just ask me, what are you? What do you mean, what am I?
Of course. Everybody wants to know. And I met one of Lindsay's friends yesterday. And basically the first thing that we were asking each other was, where do you come from? And, and asking what the derivation of the name and the DNA and all of that sort of stuff. We all do that to each other. And if we're slightly different colors, that makes people want to say, well, what country did you come from? And what was your father? And what was your mother? And, none of this really matters. We're all people. None of this really matters, but we're used to looking at each other and trying to figure stuff out about them. But what's interesting is, in the Latinos, because we love being on shows where they're Spanish women. We just love it because we yell at each other a lot, But one of the things that we understand is that, yes, Latinas do yell at each other, and they are very judgmental, and they do.
Well, they can be.
They can be.
Yeah.
They can be really.
I get it.
Careful here.
But one of the things that we talk about in our book is trying to find language and ways of sharing information without seeming like you're beating somebody up, right?
Yeah.
So, and we do talk in our book about the 6 areas of conflict between mothers and daughters.
Wow. Yeah, because every like you said, every generation, our grandparents, the patterns, right, of them. And I start thinking about it. Now that you're talking about, I'm thinking about my great grandmother. I knew something about her. Then I knew, I know a little bit because you don't really know your family.
No, they don't tell you. They don't tell you. They don't tell you where they came from. They don't tell you what happened to them. They don't want you to know where they came from, really. I mean, certainly it was true with all of our families that came over from various parts of Europe. But they don't tell us, who killed them or beat them or whatever.
Yeah, you don't know. Like, you only know little bits and pieces. And too bad my mother's still around and she remembers some things, but she's, has some memory issues. She's 80. She's going to be 88 now. Oh,
good for her.
Yeah. So she dances salsa and she still plays the piano. So
good for her.
She's got lots of life in her yet. Yeah.
That's
so
good.
I take care of her now. She lives with me. So it's full circle. Nice. So nice. I'm the only daughter, so I can't, and my aunt too is the only aunt. I'm the only niece for her. She didn't have children. So I take care of both of them. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were raised that way to be, to take care, like we took care of my grandmother. She died at home,
Mm,
and I took care of my father. So, we've always been raised to take care of our family, even though it's not easy. It's not an easy path, but I know that they're better off with me here. You know,
Absolutely. And better for you.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, there are difficult times, but again, nothing like a mother-daughter relationship. And so many out there I know have lost their mother, and they don't have the opportunity now to have that, or rebuild that relationship. But this is great what you're doing. So for those who are out there who have their mom around, don't let that go. That's a precious thing. You only got one mother, and yeah, I get emotional now thinking about that, because yeah, I have my mom and she's strong and everything, but it's age already. She'll be 88. I think she'll probably outlive me sometimes, I think, because she dances more than I do.
Oh, wow. That's good. The dancing is a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. We've both been now dancing a lot more. So it's not just an exercise, but it's part of our life, which
yeah.
makes a big difference. And I think, I don't know, how have you built like doing things together? Do you do things together? And
That's
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such an important part of rebuilding a relationship. Really important. And I think the trick is to find the things that you have in common, that you enjoy doing, and that don't bring out any conflict. So we really stick to cooking. Music, movies. We're writers, so books, movies, TV. We love to like make the popcorn and watch a good period. But we're in the kitchen pretty much all day, every day. And that it really is a lifestyle, like the dancing. One of the wonderful things we've shared together is my mom's an incredible cook. And she likes to make everything from scratch. So that's a lifestyle. When you're making your bread every week, you're making your applesauce, you're making your stuff, so that's a really big thing for us. The animals, taking care of the animals. We would have more if we had more space, but we have an HOA. So the chickens are a no.
We have no chickens. We have no goats. We have no horses. We have no.
But
you sound like me. I want them all. I want them all.
I do too. I want them all. I'd love to have them all.
But sorry, go ahead.
No, I had a horse when I lived in California.
Oh, wow.
That was my dream, and I was fulfilled. I used to ride through the mountains every weekend.
Oh,
it was
that's wonderful.
It was such a magical time. Yeah.
But that's a huge part of having a healthy mother-daughter relationship, is having like magical time, and whatever that needs to look like, whether it's riding horses and whether you're together or not, having a nurturing life and having joy in your life is really important. Like, we really want to say, if you're in a bad place with your mother or daughter, it's important to still enjoy your life and feel hopeful and know that things can change. If you're trying to rebuild, it's really important to find things to do together that you can enjoy that time. As you go into the holidays, we've been doing a lot of radio shows on zip your lip over the holidays. It is not that hard to ask the relatives to behave yourself for 2 hours at the dinner table. If politics or religion are an issue, save it for after dinner. If you've got kids or grandkids in the room, you need to say to the adults, hey, we are modeling behavior today. So keep the drink, if people are out of control with the drinking, save the hard liquor till after dinner, but really set some ground rules so that these expectations are not shattered. Yeah. We all go into the holidays. Mom's been cooking all day, or daughter's been cooking all day. People are traveling. It's very frustrating. You want it to go well, and someone doesn't behave. So it's like, really prepare. Know that the people who may misbehave, and don't take it personally. And for the rest of them, set boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I mean, we used to have I have a big family, so before when my grandmother was around, we used to have 20 people for dinner. We would do two shifts because the table wasn't big enough. And I remember she lived in New York in an apartment, one of those railroad apartments.
Oh, yes.
So you walk, and you have one bathroom. I don't know why people complain now.
I've been in those places.
Yeah.
You have one bathroom and 10 people using a bathroom. Nobody complained. Everybody was okay. Everybody figured out when to go to the bathroom. Now you have 3 bathrooms. People are complaining.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's interesting how the generation, right? We change as a generations because of what's available to us.
Exactly.
So, we went through, when I grew up, we didn't have the cell phones or anything like that.
Oh.
So, it was a different dynamic. That's why my generation, my mother's, we were very into dancing because music, my mother's a pianist as well. So,
oh, wow.
Music, and my father was a pianist. So, we always had music in our house between salsa music from the island or top 40. So we listen, and my mother plays classical. So I listen to everything. So now, like you're saying, do something that you like. I took my mother to see a concert that was 17 violinists. It was just beautiful up in Daytona Beach, and it was just magnificent. She doesn't remember, unfortunately, because the Alzheimer's affecting her. But at the moment, she was happy, and we had a great time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the same thing this Sunday, I took her to an event that a friend of mine does, and we had freestyle music from the 80s, 90s. And my mother got there, and everybody was like, "Your mother's 88? What are you talking about?" She was jamming, she was doing the freestyle and her little step, and she was having a great time, So those are the moments that I say that people, if you don't regain your relationship with your mother, you're gonna miss out on all these beautiful things that you can enjoy together.
Yeah.
Find your memories. Find your memories of the things from your childhood or your past that brought you joy between you and your mother. And for us, of course, it's the cooking, the dinner, the having the parties. That's so important for us. We often feed the neighborhood.
I cook a lot too. I cook every day for them. I make fresh food. I made a big pot of fresh beans from the dry beans. I don't buy the cans.
We cheat. We cheat on the beans.
Sometimes it's easier. I know. I have the emergency cans in the pantry. Like, I don't feel like making a whole pot of beans. I just pour out a can. But I do try to make everything fresh at home for them, and I love to cook. I find cooking is like therapy.
It is therapy.
It's relaxing for me. The smells, the taste, like I really enjoy cooking. So
all the 5 senses, all the senses are stimulated with cooking. And if you have the music on while you're cooking, you get it all.
Oh yeah, I'm jamming as I'm cooking. You kidding?
Natural highs. We talk about natural highs a lot, and cooking and music are 2 of the most important ones for us, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, those are 2 we do here too. And my husband's a salsa singer, so there's always music in this house.
Oh,
so
wow.
So we got music going on, and we'll get up and I goes, the house is too quiet. And my husband will come into the garage and turn the speakers, because we have full speakers in here and everything, our studio, puts it on, opens the door, and you can see the ladies already. They start moving. They forget, I thought you were in pain. I thought you had a pain. What pain? And they start dancing, It's like they forget everything else. I always say it's happy music,
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's incredible. Well, I'm happy for your guys' work, that what you're doing, and that what you've done, that you wrote the book and now the workbook. And I hope that people take advantage of this and get the copy for themselves, because I think it's very important. This should be something that could be taught in school.
Well, we would like that.
Yeah, we
would.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know. I get brainstormed. So, but I just thought about that would be something to do it in a, I don't know. You could think about it, right? You can do it from the little child to the middle to the teenager, because the teenager years, years from 12 especially girls, right? I think girls starting even younger now. I don't know.
They do.
It's
Yeah.
changed a lot. 11-year-old girls don't look like 11 when I was 11. Okay.
No.
I don't know what happened.
So we like people to visit our website, reachoutrecovery.com, because that's where we have 1,500 articles, original articles about parenting, about youth, about addiction and recovery. What else is in there? Family relationships. And that's where our books can be found. Reachoutrecovery.com.
Reach Out Recovery. Okay, yes, yes. That's awesome. I did visit the website and I saw different articles that you had. And I said, wow, this is really good. Because I didn't know about the recovery part. And I haven't done too much on recovery, but I do a little bit, because I went through a really bad bout, back in the 80s and stuff like that. So, and I tell people now, they're like, what? You? Like, I go,
Yeah.
hey, you don't know me. You don't know
Every family has someone or a number of people who maybe drink too much or use, and often family members don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They think if you can just stop, everything will be all right.
Or I don't know about you, but my family was the type that if you don't talk about it, it's not happening.
That's right.
Sure.
Okay.
Ours too.
Like you're like the monkeys, you see, I don't see nothing. It wasn't me, like that kind of thing. And I remember having several people in my family that I used to go, that I knew something wasn't right. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I knew that now I know that they had alcohol problems.
Yeah.
And what stemmed from why did they have alcohol problems? One uncle was in Vietnam and he came back injured. And back then they didn't have like people now with the oxys and all that stuff that they got people addicted to, but they didn't have the pain medicine. So what was there to do for pain but drink?
Yeah.
And in Puerto Rico, they have this thing called pitorro, which is like moonshine. They make their own. They make their own rum. Yeah, man.
Oh, rum, of course.
But they make their own like moonshine kind of stuff over there. And you always, during the holidays, they always sell it with flavors. So you're like, oh, this tastes good. Let me tell you, I had one shot. And my aunt screaming at me, don't drink it, don't drink it. And I didn't know why. And I'm like, what? And I went like this. She said, I was telling you not to drink it. And it was one shot. I started hallucinating.
Oh, wow. God.
I'm like, what happened? What was that? Like, I've never taken that again, ever. Okay. I was like, oh my, and these people are in the beach just drinking it like nothing,
Oh, they're used to it. They're habituated.
No, I can't. I used to drink a lot too. Not anymore. Not anymore.
We don't drink.
We go through our lessons. Unfortunately, I say people now, God made me, I guess I went through lessons to help other people now.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah,
that's exactly what we do. We try to help other people and have them understand that if you've got addiction in the family, you can recover. If you have conflicts in the family or dysfunction in the family, you can recover. And that is our mission in life, to help people find ways to recover and improve the quality of their life and the quality of their relationships, not only with family members, but with everybody around them, coworkers, friends.
Yeah, it makes a difference. What do you think the hardest thing out there for daughters to really, like, if they're having a conflict right now, what do you think, like, this first step they need to do just to even begin to heal?
I think the most important thing is to stop feeling that you need to win. You need to be right and you need to win. I think for us, it was very important to find a way to be safe with the other person. You may not agree with them. You may have conflicts and problems with them, but you have to be able to find a way to say, it's safe for you to be with me. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to find fault with you. I'm going to try and find common ground, because mothers and daughters, we're on the same team. Mothers want their daughters to be safe, and daughters want their mothers to understand them and feel compassionate and hopeful about them, and not try to make them into their own image, for example. What would you say, Lindsay?
Yeah, I would add the first thing for mothers and daughters who are in conflict is to just put down the sword.
Yeah.
just take a step back and kind of agree to stop fighting for a minute if you can, because when you're in that state, it's really impossible to see where somebody else is coming from, and even to be clear on where you're coming from, because you're so angry and you've been fighting, and it's just, they talk about you can't see the jar you're inside. And it's the same thing when you're in conflict with somebody. You really have to stop fighting, step back, and kind of assess what's going on and be really willing to look at your own part. It takes two to tango. Maybe one person is more toxic, but then the healthier person needs to set boundaries. We're dealing with codependency over here. So, as a recovering codependent, both of us, we know that if we get into conflict with somebody else, that one of the first things we need to do is step back and look at what our motives are. Like, are we trying to fix this because we're people pleasers, or is this somebody that we shouldn't know? And if they want to be in conflict. So that's what I'd say to mothers and daughters, like, put down the sword, try and enjoy the holidays, take a deep breath, know that you're on the same side. At the end of the day, when we made up, it was so important for me to have my family back. I don't have kids. If I don't have my mom and my brother and my nieces, I'm out here on my own. So that's a tough life. I've done it. For 4 years, I did it. And I can tell you it's better on this side.
Family is always better. And we love them, even though we don't agree with them. And yeah, I mean, you see all the movies they make for Christmas now, always about the families coming together, or one of them has, oh, I need to have a girlfriend because I don't have a girlfriend. And, like all these different things that come up, and what it all stems from us trying to please our parents, right?
And
or our assumption of what we think is pleasing to them.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, and again, like you said, it stems back from whatever our mothers went through, whatever their mothers went through, and so on and so forth. And we have to cut that tie and rebuild. And that's why I always tell a friend of mine that you have one mother, you might have went through a hard time in your life, conflict, just different personalities, everything, right, adds up. And I know myself, I got to a point when I moved back to Florida and I had my first son. And, my mother was, a first-time grandmother. Again, like, I'm the only daughter. So I had to move back. It was too much for my mother not to be around the children. And that's when the relationship started changing, right? The relationship started changing because now I'm a mother. So that just geared me coming back to the family. And then I kept saying to myself, why am I so angry at my mother? Like, I started thinking about it, like, why am I so angry? Like, what? And I remember doing those things, like blaming her. Oh, because of mom, I didn't do this. Or I'm not a great pianist because my mother didn't send me to school or something. You know what I mean? Like, you start to have all these excuses for your life. And then in turn, it's only our fault because we made the decision. Nobody else made the decision for us. Right. If I didn't go to dance classes because I didn't go, it wasn't because she didn't take me or she didn't pay for the class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess, like you said, it's like owning your own responsibility, your own truth, and then kind of moving those clouds away so you can actually see your mother.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I'll add one piece is, if the mom was struggling in her own way, I think when you do some of this work, that's where you can find the compassion. So if you have a difficult daughter or you have a difficult mom, and then you start to look at it and you say, well, she was struggling with this while trying to do that, I think you can find a lot of compassion. I have a complicated relationship with my other parent, and part of my recovery with him has been understanding his challenges in the world and kind of saying, I now accept as an adult, he did the best that he could. He did everything he was capable of doing, and that has to be okay too.
Yeah. I think I want to add also that often we don't think that Moms are moms for the first time. They're moms for the first time. So as they are learning how to be a mom, they're also changing. So every part of life is change. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you may be, as I was, an excellent mom for young children. I was really good at it. But then when I had teenagers, I was not as good as a mother as I could have been, because I was too laissez-faire. I was a pretty good kid, so I didn't think that my kids were going to run amok, and then they did. Because I didn't know how to say, put on the brakes, don't do that. We don't do that in this family. So it's really important to understand that your mom may not be perfect, the perfect mom at every age.
Yeah, that's
You
true. We're not perfect. And that's the whole thing. I've learned myself my lessons that going, wow, if I struggled, my mother had to struggle, right?
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
she got divorced when I was very young. I was like 7 or 8 years old. Now she's a single woman
Right.
Yeah.
back
There-
in the 70s, which was
Yeah.
not a good stigma.
It's
Also,
terrible.
Yep.
back in the 70s, they used to, oh, the divorcee. I don't know if you've ever seen that. There was a show called One Day at a Time, and the mother
Yes.
was divorced. Remember, she was the
Yep.
divorcee, so all the men were trying to hit on her and stuff because she was
That was
divorced.
me. That would happen to me.
That was you, huh? So yeah, so there's so many.
First
There's so
divorce in
many.
my family
Wow, wow.
at 22. My family did not forgive me.
Yeah, back then.
Woo!
You couldn't be single. A single mother was like a big stigma. It was a
Yeah.
big, huge stigma back then, and
Yeah.
your family didn't help.
No.
And it depends on, like you said, it depends on your religion, your family, all your things that you've taught.
Your
I grew up in a Catholic home. I went to Catholic school for 12 years. I was like up to here already. I was like, I can't do it no more. So all that adds up, and but again, like I tell everybody here, and the best thing about doing this podcast is you can change. Today's a new day. So anybody out there that woke up today and having struggled with their mother, and their mother is still here, you want to rebuild that relationship, you can. You just have to say, I want to rebuild this relationship, let's do it.
Let's think it
And
over. Let's think it over. What went wrong? What can we do to
exactly.
make it better?
Life's too short not to
Yeah.
enjoy your parents,
Yeah.
both parents if they're around, or your siblings and things like that. Life is too short. People die every day, every minute of the day, and I'm happy to have pets. I love pets.
Yeah. We do too.
I have dogs and cats, so
The best.
but ladies, thank you so much. This was an incredible interview. I hope that people listen it and share and really, come on, ladies, let's do it. Let's do it for 2026. Let's rebuild those relationships, and these both beautiful women here can tell you that it's made their life so much better. And I know that for myself, since I've healed that part with my mother, wow, I'm such a better friend now. I have women, lady friends. Like I have so many women that I know now, and it's an incredible journey, and it's never too late. So we can always do it.
Yep.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I hope you have a great holiday season.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
New year, and we'll talk again maybe in the new year and everything like that.
That'd be great.
I send you a little blurb about the new magazine coming, so I'll love to put you in there as well.
Fantastic.
love that.
We love it. We'll come
Yeah.
back for Mother's Day if you want us.
Oh yes, definitely. Let's do that. That's for sure. I'm gonna put it in the calendar now. We'll set up a time. All right.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank
You
you.
too. Bye.
Bye. So everybody, again, just an incredible interview. I hope everybody goes to their website and check out all the information. Everything it will be in my post as well, so you can get their book and their workbook. I think it's really good. There's times in our lives, like I said, I wish I had this 40 years ago, right? We need this, and honestly, I think it's a good thing to have in the schools as well. I'm always an advocate for everything I talk about on this show, all about different ways to change your life, to make your life better, to be happier, right? To enjoy it. Okay. I have so much joy now and so much gratitude that I didn't realize that I was missing. And it makes a huge difference. And, why not continue? Why not start young? We need to teach our children to enjoy their lives, what they do in work and their people and their friends and everything that's around them, and enjoy their family. Family is key. Without family, you know, we don't have much. We have strangers out there. Family is a different bloodline, is a whole different story. They teach us a lot of things from the past that we need to know, some things we need to not know, right? So that's why we're here to fix them and tell our, even my sons, I have two boys, right? So my relationship is with them. I talk to them all the time. I've told them every day I talk to them, I say, tell them I love them always. I tell them all the time, I love you, I love you. They probably get tired of me saying it, but it's important for me to let them know that I am here as a mother, but as a friend as well, as a person, and that I love them very much unconditionally till the end of the time. And that's the bottom line. I love my kids forever. Um, so anyway, we're gonna have the ladies back in for Mother's Day, and that's gonna be a great topic. We'll do a live in May, and that way we can have people come in and ask questions. I think that would be awesome. We're also doing a big event in May 2nd. We're doing a big event in Kissimmee. It's going to be a pre-Mother's Day event with salsa music. We have two orchestras. We have 5 artists performing. So if you're in the Kissimmee area and you want to go to a dance and really enjoy some music, enjoy great people together, we have a ballroom set up. It holds about 1,500 people. It's a really big production, and I would love you there. We're always doing things with music. I'm trying to see if I have the video here. Here's the flyer. So here's the flyer for the event. It's called Un Tributo a Dos Gigantes, which is one tribute to two giants. So we have two big artists coming from Puerto Rico with their Luis Gonzalez is coming with his full orchestra, and Tommy Olivente Jr. is celebrating his father's life, tribute to his father's music. Also, Hermano Olivera, which is a big artist. He's been around for 40 years singing. And David Atanasio and my dear husband, JC Colon, will be performing as well. So we have 5 artists performing with 2 huge bands. They're 12 to 13-piece orchestras. We have there's drinks and food available at the ballroom. And if you're out of town, you can go to our website, spanglish-entertainment.com, and you can book a hotel as well at a discounted rate. And you can stay at the hotel and join us and spend the weekend with us, Friday and Saturday, as we do the press conference on Friday. So, a lot of events coming up. And we also have another event coming up in January. JC will be performing at Pineapples in Melbourne. This is a smaller venue, but you can come out there as well and check out the live orchestra. JC will be performing his 3 hits and some other cover songs. And it's going to be an incredible night as well. So just some things for the new year. There's also a lot of free cell events. There's tons of events going on. It's really an incredible time here in Florida. So come enjoy some of it with us, and stay tuned for Rebooted Magazine coming out this January. I'm working on it. I hope you have a great holiday. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Make 2026 the best year ever. Okay. Make yourself a better person, and you will be better for everybody else out there as well. So, wow, much love. I love you. Peace. And always remember, it's never too late to reboot your mindset. So take care. I said that wasn't ready. Oh, yeah, yes, I am. Bye.